Here are the list of the things that you're going to need. And I have been playing with this recipe back and forth. Grab something from my grandma, that grandma, and this grandma, and from my head. And so this is what I'm gonna tell you what I use. I don't know the measurements yet, but I'll let you know. So first of all, you are going to definitely need pork. These are pork tamales. You're gonna need, you can get bone in, but this is a boneless picnic pork. This is almost 5 pounds. I'm making a very small batch. And then also you're going to need the garlic salt. You're going to need garlic for sure. I love garlic in my tamales. You're going to need a pinch of oregano. Of course, you're going to need Morton's nature seasoning. We use that in everything. I have a secret thing I'm going to tell you. I use a little bit of Menudo mix in my tamale. So pepper, of course, my favorite thing, you already know that. Chili seeds, and I hope they're hot. Salt, this is gonna be for the masa. We're gonna do 2 cans of chicken broth. You have to have lard. You have to have this. You're gonna need a package of the hojas para tamales. These are corn husks. 1 bag because we're gonna just make a small batch. Baking powder, and you'll need the masarina, and then you're gonna need, I'm using New Mexico chili pods. So a package of New Mexico chili pods, and onion, yellow Vidalia onion, and I did tell you the garlic, and I think that is it. I'm gonna come back and show you how to start cooking the meat. The very first thing we are going to do is going to cut the meat. I'm going to take it out, and I've got a boneless one, and we are going to just cut it in half so that it's going to kind of cook faster. So I'm actually going to just put it in the pan. I don't know if you could see here. I got a big pan. Here's the other piece, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece. I guess I could cut it, you could cut it smaller, but we're gonna cut it up later anyway. But let me just cut it. I'll cut it again and then put it in the pan. And then this is the last chunk, and then I am going to have to wash my hands because, oh, a bunch of fat there. I'm going to put the last 2 pieces in, and then I'm going to have to wash my hands because you have to wash them when you're touching pork. Okay, the very first thing you're going to do is we cut our meat, and we are actually going to have to fill this pan. Maybe it's a 5-quart pan. You need enough room for everything to boil, but we're going to fill it up close to the top. You want to make sure you have plenty of water because we're going to use some of this wonderful broth for the chili, and we might use some for the masa. And so I'm right there, and we are going to next put it on the stove. We are back at the stove, and you're going to have to put it on full blast. I have it on high, and we're going to start adding the spices. So here we go. The first thing we are going to add is an entire half of an onion. I've already cut it, so I'm just going to actually drop it in. Half an onion. And then we are going to do garlic. I have 4, 5, 6, 7 garlic cloves that I'm putting in the pot. And now I'm going to go with the spices. I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of pepper, half a teaspoon. Now we've got a teaspoon of salt. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put, this is literally about 1/8 of a teaspoon of, you're not going to believe it, Menudo mix. I'm putting it in there. And then we're going to put about 1/8 of a teaspoon of oregano leaves. That's a very small amount, and you want to crush it up. Okay, next we've got the Morton seasoning, which is this right here. We're only going to put an eighth of a teaspoon of Morton seasoning. And then the last thing we're going to do is an eighth of a teaspoon of garlic salt. And that is it. We're going to let this boil. We're going to let all of this boil with the meat for about 45 minutes to an hour. We'll be back. Okay, it's lightly boiling. I'm going to cover it, but you're going to have to lower it to a medium low, okay? And we're going to come back in 45 minutes to an hour. We are going to do the entire 11-ounce bag. I gotta let you know, it's a lot of work when you want to make tamales. So here we go. I'm going to show you how to do one pod. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the top off, and I'm going to lower this real low. You're going to want to clean the inside from all of the seeds and make sure that it's clean on the inside. I've already did these here. I've already taken the seeds out from the inside. Let me see if I can get another one to show you. Here's a nice big one. Take the top off, you cut it open. Some of these are so tough, and do you see the seeds inside? You have to pull this out, and then you have to clean it. Try to get as many seeds out as you can. See how clean that is? Rinse it, and then if you have a little seeds left, that's fine. We're going to put it in the pan and we'll be back. I rinsed all of the chili pods and they are all ready to go. I have them in water. This is about how much water you want in there. You want them covering the chili pods. I'm going to show you, I'm going to put 4 garlic cloves on top, and we're going to let it boil for about 35 minutes. Same time that the meat's boiling. We got this at 45, so I will see you back to get these together. A lot of things going on in this kitchen. This is quite a bit of work, so maybe you better set half a day aside. We've got an 8-ounce bag of corn husks. You need to take them out and put them in any kind of a deep bowl. We're going to put hot water. You're going to want to have hot water. I have hot water, and you're going to want to take them apart a little bit, and then we're going to soak them while the chili's cooking and while the meat is cooking. So we're going to fill it up to here, and then we're going to cover it with a heavy plate. This is what I do. I'm going to show you in just a little bit as soon as it gets full. Just kind of take them apart a little bit. You don't have to, because they're all going to get soaked. So it's almost full. We're pressing it down, trying to get in between, and that is, turn it off, and I'm just going to put a plate on top and try to keep them under the water. Meanwhile, the meat is almost done. I actually turned the chili off. It was 40 minutes I had it boiling. We're going to make some masa real quick while that meat is still cooking. You're going to need 2 cups of the tamale corn masarina, 2 cups. You're going to need a teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of salt. Doesn't matter if it goes a little over. And you're just going to mix that with your hands real quick. And then we are going to put 2/3 of a cup into the mixer. 2/3 cup of lard. There's 1, and then we're going to do another 1/3 cup. So we've got 2/3 cup. Now we are going to get the chicken broth, and we're going to put a cup and 1/3. There's a cup, and here's the 1/3, and it says it can go a little over. It's fine. We're going to mix this up. Meantime, I'm going to do 2 things at once. I'm turning the mixer on and letting that cream, the shortening or lard cream. Meantime, I'm mixing this with my hand, the masarina, because this is going to be your tamale, the dough for the tamales. Just mix it around just till it's moistened. And I'm actually going to sneak across here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but I'm going to get some of the hot broth from the pork and put it in there. And then we are going to stop this after it's creamed You could probably see in there you're just creaming it a little bit. Let me turn this off so you can see. And then we're going to pick it up and we're going to actually be careful because it's hot. We're going to pour everything in here. I'll show you real quick. And then we are going to cream it, put it on low, and let it mix till it's together. I am going to wash my hands meantime. Okay. We're letting it mix till it gets pretty moist and sticky. And then we'll put it a little higher. And that is going to be it. We're going to stop there. I already made 2 batches right here. I just want you to know. We're going to put this batch in also with that batch. Oops. And this is where the work's going to start. This is what I do. I want to go ahead and add about, let's put this is a spoon of chili sauce. We're going to mix it in with our hands and we're going to get it, I like it red. It gives it a nice little flavor. So I made 2 batches. I just showed you how to make that 1 batch real quick. So I tripled it. I may need to make 1 more depending how much meat. We'll usually always have more meat, but I'll try to make them really big. So you keep mixing it, and then you're going to have to continue to add some of the broth from the meat, maybe about a scoop. I'm not putting my hand in that hot. I'm going to use a spoon here and kind of stir it around, and then that is going to be it. We're going to want to get it really nice and fluffy and smooth, and then we'll be able to spread our tamales. You're going to want to mix it really well, and we'll be back when it's whipped up. It's about 2 hours later. This definitely is a labor of love. Here is the last piece. They're all cooked. I am going to show you, we need to save the broth though, because we're going to use that for some of the sauce. You're just going to want to kind of cut it, break it up lightly. You'll see how it's done. It's just coming apart. Some people actually like to have it a little undercooked a tiny bit where it doesn't fall apart, but this one's kind of medium. Some of it's kind of really tough and some falls apart. See how you just slice it and it falls apart? So I'm going to go ahead and cut up all of this, and I will be back to show you how to blend the chili and put it together. Hi, we're back on. I just want you to know that I chopped it up. I did it in rough chops. That means they're kind of chunky, because when we stir it in the red sauce, it's going to break up. But if you want it smaller, you can actually get it and do it in smaller pieces, and you can cube it if you want. I'll cube a couple of them, but when you stir it in the red sauce, it actually breaks up some more. So unless you want it real shredded, you can get a little bit of both. So there it is. Now we're going to blend the red sauce and we're going to put them together. We'll be right back. Hi, I don't want to intimidate you, but this is some of the mess that I have to clean, but I've already actually been cleaning while I've been working. So maybe you can get a dishwasher that will be behind you washing when you're making this. And so now we are going to blend the chili pods. We're going to put them in here. And I want you to know, look here closely, I've got some wonderful garlics that I put in there and you saved. You definitely want the garlic in there. And I'm going to do this in several little batches. Since I have a small amount, I'm making a small amount. You could normally do it in a blender or a Vitamix. You're gonna have to put some of the juice, so when you blend it, and I also put that wonderful garlic in there. We're gonna go ahead and blend this, and then we're gonna keep blending it, and I'll be back to show you all of the red sauce. We're at the last part. I'm gonna turn the fire on high. I'm going to put the red sauce that I blended, all of the red sauce. I'm gonna pour it in the pan, and I'm gonna save a little bit. I'll just save a little bit. We have it in the pan here, and I'm gonna start adding a few cups of the broth from the meat. Maybe one, maybe two. And I'm going to stir it around. Make sure you have a good time with this, making tamales. Make sure you set aside time, you relax, and stop to have a drink of Pepsi. We are on the finale. I've got it on high, and I actually am stirring it. Now I'm going to add a teaspoon. This is about a teaspoon of salt. And you want to be careful not to add too much salt, because remember, we put a little bit of salt in the pork broth. So I put a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to put let's do a half a teaspoon of garlic salt, a tiny, which is an 1/8 teaspoon of oregano. We're going to do Morton's 1/8 teaspoon. And I am sorry, but I'm going to keep pouring. I'm going to keep pouring. I like hot tamales. I put about 2 tablespoons or 3 of crushed chili seeds, which is my favorite. Now, you don't have to do that. You can omit that altogether, but I am not going to omit that. Here we go. I'm tasting it. First taste. More salt. You're gonna have to keep tasting it. I'm putting another teaspoon of salt. That's 2 teaspoons already. And stirring it. And let me taste it again. Okay. More salt. 3 tablespoons. That's 3 teaspoons. Okay. You have to make sure you have enough salt. Okay, I'm gonna put 1 more cup of broth. That's 3 cups total. Here goes the meat. We're pouring it in, all of the meat. And now we are just going to stir it around. Look how beautiful. Oh, you have to look at this. Okay, look how beautiful and rich and dark red. I like a lot of red sauce. I know a lot of people don't put a lot of red, but I love red. And I'm sorry, but we're Mexican, so I'm putting more chili seeds. Here we are. I already spread this one, but I'm going to show you how to spread it real quick. I actually spread it. I put the meat inside. You're going to fold it over. I really filled this one up. Fold this one over. Get the little bottom. And there you have a beautiful tamale. I already rinsed these. Remember, I had them soaking in hot water, but I rinsed each one, and now I'm going to show you how to spread one. You're going to go ahead and put the leaf down, and you're going to make sure that's the shiny side. You can kind of feel it. And here is the masa. If you want to take a peek in here, there it is. I spread some already, but you're just going to put some masa on the we love using a spoon, so I don't know how you do it, but I like it to come out real smooth. We're just spreading it a little bit up and down. I'm putting it kind of thick because we like the masa because it tastes so good. And with this little chili that I put in it, I hope you like it. It's a little trick a lot of people don't do. But there it is. I spread it really quickly. See this? And now we are going to get the beautiful pork with red sauce, New Mexico. Put it in, fold it over as best you can, put the bottom up, and there it is. Now, I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to show you how to put them in the tamale pan. I'm going to put them in the pot, and I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to go ahead and stack them along the wall. I'm standing on a stool because I'm too short, and so are you seeing how we are stacking them? We're going to continue stacking them, but I've got to hire some spreaders, which will be my husband and my son, and then we'll be back in, guess what? 2 hours. Okay.
$20 an hour.
Bye. We are at the finale of the show. I am so excited because this is the part that we are going to get to eat the tamales, although I've already took a few bites. And I just want you to know you can pair it with sour cream. I love sour cream. And I'm going to show you real quick. I took one out, and you could just open them up and then just slide them out. And you could also put chili on top. I know you're gonna go, oh my goodness, Maria, more chili. We love chili. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to do this. This is my grandma's recipe. It's a chili piquin salsa. I'm gonna go ahead and take a bite of this one, which I already did. Oh, with sour cream, it's so yummy. Delicious. Okay, a few important facts I need to tell you. I cooked them for 2 hours in this pot. This is a tamale pot, so you can get one of these at a Mexican store. Also, I showed you in the video that I made 3 batches of masa. So it made 4 dozen. I ran out of masa, but I still had meat left. So it'll probably make 5 to 6 dozens out of this batch. So just to give you some facts. We are at the end of the show. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I can't wait till you see this video. You've got to try it. It's going to be a process, but you can do it. Here's the scripture of the day. The scripture of the day is John 12:46. I have come as a light into the world, so whoever believes in me will not continue to live in darkness. The light has come, Jesus has come, and we no longer have to live in darkness. So go be the light in the world. Thank you and so much, and subscribe and come back again. Thank you.